crisis feeling for Rotherham United.
Woods got round the back, and Richie Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Thank you all for being with us. I suspect this is an episode which we could have talked about when we got relegated from the Championship or from about 6 weeks ago. It's going to be a similar kind of conversation. If you like repetitive men talking to each other, then this is absolutely the episode for you tonight. We're going to talk about the 1-0 loss away at Huddersfield Town and anything else that comes with it. Tom is back with us again. We spoke yesterday. Tom, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. I haven't thought about the game until just this second, so I've actually been really good since venting it all out post-match.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been nice not thinking about it for 24 hours or so. Steve's back. How are you going, Steve?
Absolutely splendid. It's been one of them days, isn't it, where I've just not thought about it like Tom.
It's been a good weekend for sport, by the way. F1's back, which means F2 and F3 are back on. There's been good FA Cup football. The darts has been on. Rugby's on for you rugby fans out there. It's been a fantastic weekend of sport, and except Rotherham United.
T20 World Cup cricket final.
T20 World Cup final.
Which was rigged. I mean, sorry. Even I could have asked that pitch.
I know. Mick, back. How was your 21st birthday, Mick?
21st, yeah, very good. Very good. Spent driving to Wales. Then watched Rotherham lose. Watched England lose at rugby. Watched Ferrari lose the Grand Prix when they had it in their hands. Watched India win World Cup. It's been a marvellous weekend, mate.
Oh, brilliant. Martin Holland's with us, usually is with us. Sarah says, evening all, can we get the season over and done with? Seth is also with her and says, hello everybody up the Millers. Sarah says, one positive I took away from yesterday was the 3 pulled beef tacos she had at Leeds train station for breakfast for under a tenner. I already won before getting to Huddersfield, that's what we like to hear. Andy's with us, as if Days Lawton, Chris Page, Chris Tether, Bailey's with us, Richard, Ken Hockey. Mike says, what can the podcast say tonight that hasn't been repeated countless times this season? How on earth can we lose to a team playing as poor as Huddersfield did? You've nailed it, Mike. You've got to play some podcast. I think that's what we've learned from this. Before we dive into this, I put the post out on Twitter earlier. Well, I'm going to finish tonight's show with a series of positive mini stories. If you've had something good happen to you this weekend, put it in the comments. I'll star it and we'll come to it at the end. We're going to end with a smile today because it's really, really, really crap right now being a Rotherham fan. So we're going to still want to put a smile on people's faces. I've got a list already. So yeah, let us know if you've had anything good this week. And like Sarah's taco bargain.
I think Sarah ought to explain how she managed to eat 3 of them.
First thing in the morning.
Yep. Absolutely. We need to know how that was done.
Well, you've heard me and Tom talk yesterday. So let's start with you, Steve. 1-0 defeat against a team who, I'm sure by their own admission, were they were getting booed by their own fans. Frustrating barely begins to cut it for me. What about for you?
Oh, dull. I messaged a Huddersfield contact of mine, and he apologised profusely. And I just thought, well, I says, well, at least, your manager's getting booed and he's only been there for 5 minutes. Ours has been there a year, and really, when you look at it, really surprised that he's still there. And there were times when we played okay. I mean, I listened to the aftermatch, and I kind of agree with how you put it. I mean, we weren't fantastic at all. I mean, as we mentioned before, the bar has been lowered so far that even us putting a couple of 3 passes together is seen as progress. And you get not quite excited, but, it keeps you awake, doesn't it? But we are just so ponderous, slow, and without any creativity at all. I mean, at one point I did think, well, maybe we will win. Maybe Nombe will not want in with another part of his body other than his backside. and we'll sneak 3 points. But the other side of my head said, well, what will happen? How will you feel if they suddenly popped up and scored in the last 10 minutes and you lost 1-0 and they've done absolutely nothing to merit it? And I just thought, I feel bad. And guess what? I felt bad. And it was just so predictable. It's getting really boring. 3 years of this. And yesterday pushed me right to the edge. And I'm quite a reasonable guy, and I don't ever call for people to leave the club. But I'm thinking to myself, like everybody else, something's got to change. And, you know, the easiest thing is change the manager, but it was so dull and so predictable. And that's how I saw it, unfortunately. So I turned it off straight away, and I can't remember where I must have gone to sleep, I think.
That sounds better than watching that again. I was almost, Mick, I was half tempted to go back 3 years and listen to one of our episodes in the Championship relegation season, you know, under Liam Richards, something like that, because it just felt like that. Man just seems to have got into this idea of, right, we're just going to be difficult to beat. We're just going to make life difficult for the opposition. We're going to make it difficult for them to break us down and hope that we get something by hook or by crook. But the problem is, that's really boring. So, and if you play that way, you have to win. You can't play that way and lose, because then you're gonna get 4 blokes starting a podcast on a Sunday night complaining about it. You have to win that way. And the problem is, we never really looked like winning yesterday for me. Although we weren't terrible, we still never really looked like scoring, did we?
No, well, we didn't. I mean, up to a point, I agree with what Steve said. Up to a point. What I would say is, and again, what you said is absolutely right. There was a point 7 or 8 games ago where we were shipping goals for fun. Yeah, we were absolutely shipping goals for fun. We've conceded 2 in 5 now, is it? Or 4?
2 in 4. That one and the Bradford goal, I think, in the last 4 games.
And we scored one of them. You know. So. Yeah, you've got to make yourself difficult to beat. That's a given, isn't it? That's just a given. But we've never been difficult to beat all season. But now we are. However, we're difficult to beat against. I never thought I'd say this, because I thought we'd seen the worst team we've played all season, but we hadn't. And if there's any other fans listening, I'm sure you must have played better this season. Whatever. I'm sure you must have done, because you're up where you are. Although, having seen the quality of the rest of this league, including us, maybe not. They were so bad. Had we not scored, had we not given them the own goal, which in my view was quite unlucky, to be fair, had we not given them the own goal, if we'd have still been playing now, it'd still be 0-0. You know? So that's the most frustrating part about yesterday for me. I thought, as a performance, up until the final third of the pitch, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great by any stretch of anybody's imagination. And by normal standards, it wasn't bad. But by our standards this season, I don't think it was a bad performance at all. And in patches, there was some bright play. And we never looked like conceding until they got a lucky deflection from a corner. But we never, ever looked like scoring at all.
No.
That I can recall. And that's the worry. Yeah, make yourself difficult to beat, but you've got to create something. There are enough players in that team, even without Benson in there, without Gore in there, there's enough players in that team who are capable of creating something, and we just didn't, did we?
No, it's almost, I don't want to say it sounds maybe harsh to me, it's almost an accepting of the fate. The way we're setting up is an acceptance that, well, we're probably going to go down anyway, so let's just not get beat up every week. What I expect is, do you know what? We're in bother here. Let's go for this. Let's be aggressive. If we're going to go out, let's go out on our own terms. Whereas what we're doing is, please don't beat us up. That's the vibe that's coming off the club at the minute.
It's the message. It's the message that comes out from the club. Hamshaw said, we need to go to Saturday and not lose. And then that's the message that he's given his players all week. It's the message he's given the fans. It's the message he's given everyone. Absolutely every single person involved in the club is trying not to lose every single game. Rather than wanting to win, rather than wanting to take a battle to them, Huddersfield, as Mick said it, are the worst team I've seen this season. And I said it yesterday as well. They must have just been on an off day because there's been 2 other games we've played them this season that they've, respectfully battered us in. So they are not that bad. But that was the worst performance I've seen against us all season. They created nothing. They didn't, usually when you watch us play, we give the other teams the ball and then they keep it for a bit, they gave it back immediately. They were sluggish, they were slow, they didn't press us. The fact that we could have won that game and moved out of the relegation zone is just, I don't know how you haven't grabbed that by the scruff of the neck and won that game and in fact losing it, as Mick says, in an unlucky situation. Lenny hasn't meant to, connect with that part of his head and flick it that way, etc. But when you set up like that and when you set up to not lose, you're gonna be bombarded. They didn't bombard us by any means, but you're gonna get, there's opportunities to make mistakes. There's opportunities to, have blunders, which we are known to do every single game. So when it inevitably happens, you got to hope that your attackers bail you out. You've got to hope that you've scored a few. It doesn't matter, and it's just a consolation. But the way that we set up, the way that we play football, the way that we create chances, it's so boring and dull, and we deserve to be where we are. And honestly, we deserve to go down. We keep saying every single game we see this season, we keep saying that's the worst team I've ever seen. That's the worst team I've ever seen. Honestly, we keep watching the worst team every season because we keep having to watch us every game. And although every other team in this division is crap, we are still bottom of the barrel, and deservedly so. Some of the tactical decisions that went on yesterday were barbaric. They were absolutely disgraceful from the coach and staff. So, I don't see where it goes and how it gets better from here without, as Steve mentioned before, a change in manager is the only way that you can see it. But I don't think he's going to go.
No, I don't. Steve, you asked earlier how Sarah was able to eat those tacos. She's actually sent us a picture of her breakfast yesterday. That looks pretty good. It's not bad. Phenomenal. It's been all for less than a tenner at all.
I still want to know how you managed to fit them 3 in all at once.
This is the content no other football podcast brings you in the country, I would have thought. So there you go. This is the stuff we do.
Wait until we get on pies. That'll trigger a few.
Baldy Wolfer says, guys, what even is this football club anymore? Absolute joke and a laughing stock of a football club. The football has been dreadful all season. The rebuild, non-existent. Hammy out. Harry says, it was a very boring game, but we didn't deserve to lose, in my opinion. They never looked like scoring. But you have to have more of a threat up top if you want to stay up. Bailey, I think, sums up nicely. Any of the week, I'd take the loss on the chin, but results matter, and we aren't getting any bar the odd anomaly. And our run is shocking without mentioning the injuries as well. And the pieces, it's mad that we're only 3 points off 18th as well. Harry says, to me, it says like when Liam Kelly was our best player on the pitch. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Let's just dive into the game a little bit, Steve. Let's pick parts of it. We started well. We talk about the rest of the game, but the first 15 minutes was front-footed, probably a little bit aggressive. Harry Gray has a really good shot, which their keeper makes a bit of a meal of, but still, it was a threatening moment. Zach Jules had a chance to score. Their keeper pulls off a save from a good deflection. It was a good first 15 minutes of the game where we did put it on him a little bit.
And it didn't quite carry on, though, did it? I agree entirely with Tom and Meg. They were appallingly bad. And this is what worries me a little bit, is that, we started well and we had a couple of 3-half chances and their keeper saved a couple of them. But are we fundamentally good enough? I mean, we talk about how we set up and all this kind of stuff. But surely the players should know themselves that if they're good enough, they should actually make it count. And I'm beginning to wonder if we aren't actually good enough to score goals. I mean, we've conceded, 2 in 4. Both of them have resulted in defeats. We've scored 1 from open play in 7. I mean, that's a
sounds
pretty
about right.
yeah. It's just one, isn't it? I mean, that's a damning statistic.
Yeah.
So you can play the worst side in the league, and you're still not guaranteed to win. Now, I thought the first 20 minutes we looked brighter. We did look brighter, and we got them on the back foot. They really didn't know what to do. Their crowd turned against them. They were ripe, apparently. I mean, I do get some stuff on Twitter because I'm friends with a couple of Huddersfield fans, so it comes through. And they really are jacked off with their hierarchy, and also not quite with the manager yet, because they sacked him, didn't they? Sacked Grant in January. But they were ready to go, and they did go. And despite us being bright and making him pull off a couple of saves, they didn't do anything to us. You get through that 20 minutes and you think, well, where to now? Because we started then to give them a bit more possession. So I did enjoy, in inverted commas, the first 20 minutes. But after that, it went back to what it tends to be, which is us giving the ball away, not passing it correctly or accurately or with a bit of pace. And I started to get bored.
Yeah, I did as well. But this is kind of a bit of a theme of, I suppose, recent weeks, Mick. Score early or we're done. Donny, we scored early, but because of individual errors, that's what's cost us the game. If we didn't make individual errors, Donny weren't going to score because we were actually pretty solid. Plymouth, we went 1-0 up and they couldn't break us down. But again, very, very early in the game. This is kind of our plan now. Score early, and if we don't score early, it's a long old afternoon.
I think you score early to try and get some confidence into the players. Arguably, and we're not doing that. We're not, and you can't rely on that. Can't rely on that. How many times this season have we said, the teams are there for the taking? Put your foot on the throat, go for the kill, and Saturday was a perfect example of that. There's a Huddersfield fan in the comments there saying it was like Sunday League football, and it was absolutely it was from both teams, and I would argue it's unforgivable at this level from both teams to put on a display like that. Yes, we were. I think you could probably argue on over the 90 minutes we might have been the better side marginally. Poor sides, but we had nothing. There is zero killer instinct in this team, and I don't get it. I really don't understand, and that's I think that's what my issue with it with Hampshire and Woody particularly. Of all the players that we've ever had at this football club, that man has a killer instinct, whether it be defending or whether it be when he was in opposition box. And yet, the team that him and Hammy and Dale Tong are putting out have nothing. It's just not there. The desire's not there. The aggression, the fight is not there. We don't want to create anything. We don't put the ball in the box. We don't put the ball in dangerous areas at any point. I know we keep harping back to Warney, but that was all about getting the ball in the box. Get the ball in the box. Create problems. Create danger. Create issues for defences. We're not even trying. We're not trying. The only thing we're trying to do is play the ball down the channels. But when we get down the channels, the next obvious thing to do is to get it in the box, and we're not. I don't get it. I don't understand. This is not, in my opinion, this is not an ability issue. This is definitely not an ability issue. This is an attitude issue from players and management. I don't know where we go from here.
But we're reliant on two old fullbacks. For the ball into the box.
One who's not really a wing back.
No, and that's the difference. I mean, Warney did have some tools at his disposal. I mean, Chio. Who do we have on the left? We had what's his name?
Mikael Miller.
Mikael Miller. We had the Irish guy now who, despite being a bit at the back end, that's it. Shane Ferguson at the back end of his career had quality in his left foot. And it's what I said, Mick. I actually think we are maybe giving some of these players more credit than they're worth. You know, the quality is so poor. You know, and I'd be more worried if I was a Huddersfield fan in some respects, because they paid a load of money for a lot of their players. We paid nothing for half of ours, and they're still rubbish. Well, they're currently rubbish. Let's put it that way.
I'm going to say the performances are rubbish. I would argue that there's some quality footballers in there, but they're just not performing. They're not performing at all. And what I've just talked about there is a basic of football, surely. You know, so I can't remember. The comments are going thick and fast. Somebody put in there about inexperience from Woody and Hamshaw and Tom. You know, they're inexperienced managers. Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. But a basic premise of football is to put your foot on the opponent's throat and twist the knife, essentially, metaphorically. And we're not even close. We're not even close to doing that. And that, for me, that's unforgivable, because you put us four on the pitch and we'd have more desire, we'd have more fight, wouldn't have the skill or the ability to move.
Or the knees.
But we'd have the fight, we'd have the passion, and that's what I don't get. I don't understand why that's not instilled into these footballers, into these players.
Yeah. It's a bit of game smartness, though, as well, Tom, because we all heard the Huddersfield fans yesterday. That is the time Mick mentions they're putting the foot on the throat. How many times have we done against us over the last 3 years? You think to Barnsley, there's two big ones in the Barnsley and Crawley games last year, but you could say Peterborough at home this year as well. You know, there's been countless times where the opposition have sensed blood. They smell it, they've sensed the weakness, and their managers done something a little bit, not even clever at times. They've just, you know, stepped things up a little bit, and they've taken that opportunity and gone and won the game. As soon as the fans turned yesterday, straight away you have to step up. You have to step up those extra few steps, move gears, whichever way you want to do it. That makes right unforgivable that those players can't sense that, and the manager didn't sense it and do anything about it either.
Yeah, well, there's the lack of you know, passion and desire, as you guys say, but there's the, like, you know, as you mentioned, there's the lack of intelligence amongst these players as well. It's, you know, if you said to the start of the season that you had Watmore, Benson, Nombe, Gray on a pitch at the same time, you can't create a chance. Is that down to them, or is that down to how they're playing? Is that down to how they've been set up to play? I don't know. But for me personally, it's again indicative of the management style. Look, you can be the best tactician, you can be the best sort of, you know, see everything before they see it. But if you can't get that message across to the players, if you can't, you know, motivate them, if you can't make them play to the best of their ability, then you're useless. You are useless. And Hamshaw hasn't even gotten the tactical side right. You know, he's come in as this coach that was here at the glory days and wanted to be in a Premier League stand. You know, Premier League clubs wanted him as a coach. He's proved nothing of that here. He's proved absolutely nothing of that. And I disagree with what everyone says and says that the players aren't good. This team could get, you know, mid-table to top, you know, top end of the table. Sorry, I mean like top half of the table. Sorry. They're not. They're not, and that can't be anything other than how they're played. We ended the game with our two central midfielders of Martha and Kelly, and a forward three of Watmore, Nombe, and Powell. You know, and still playing a 5-back with McWilliams at right wing back. I don't get how you can physically look. The changes made are fine. Whatever they were done, they were made. But how can you not set up a team to play in their sort of positions? As Mick said, it's basics. It's getting the ball in the box. It's pressing high. It's, you know, if certain players are injured, like Harry Gray was on Saturday, maybe you don't play him. Maybe you don't risk him. Maybe you give a chance to a lad that you've signed from Manchester United, who is hailed in the same regard as Gray. You know, Gray might be a better player, but is hailed in a similar regard across youth football. And given him, I checked it today, he's given him 90 minutes of games in 5 games. Sorry, 60 minutes in 5 games. He's gotten 14 minutes a game. What are you meant to do with that? What are you actually meant to do? Why bring these players in? Why bring in Sousa, Kova, you know, Biancheri? What, like, have you not done your due diligence? Are they not good enough? Are you seeing them in training and then they're not good enough? So then when why sign? Everything for me, this personally, is this team can and should be at least mid-table, and I don't even think that's optimistic. I don't even think that's being too over the odds. You have Nombe, Gray, Watmore, Benson all on the pitch at the same time. They should absolutely be better than they are, and the fact that they're not is down to the management. It's down to not just Hamshaw, but the people around him, because something. It took him until middle of February to go to a back four when it was obvious that was the change for all those fans, and then we started to perform again. Obviously, you get some injuries back, and that sort of, you play Cardiff, which is a game that you're not going to win. That stifles a bit of the momentum. But then since then, it's just been all chaos, and it doesn't. For me personally, there's no saving grace for any of this. And look, maybe we stick. I think we definitely stick with Hampshire till the end of the season now, because Donny, Burton, and maybe even that Cardiff game were games that he should have gone, and he's not. So he's with us till the end of the season. In summer, there's going to be a big talk about who we're going to get in, no matter what division we're in, even if we're in League Two, because there's no way that you can continue with this sort of let's stick out their inexperience and hope that they get better. Because even as Hampshire post match of a game where you should have won, you could have won, and he's talking about we're going to be getting money off assets in the next few months. We're going to be, no matter where we are, I'm looking for the future. I'm looking to get money back for this club. But why are you thinking about the next 4 or 5 months? Think about the here and now. Think about the next game. Think about who you're going to be. Take some responsibility, take some accountability, and it's not happening. It's so frustrating.
It absolutely is. Let's just touch on the goal before we go from there. Mick mentioned it a minute ago, Steve. I think he's really unlucky, Lenny. He's done his very best to win the header. He's won the header. I just think it's a bit of probably miscommunication between two young players. The goalkeeper's probably come rushing out when he maybe didn't need to, and then he stretched for it when he maybe didn't need to. I'm not kind of throwing too much blame at either of them, to be honest with you, or am I wrong on that?
No, I agree with you. I think it was the only decent cross in the whole game, frankly. It had quality on it, and when you put a ball into the box there, and there's loads of people. I mean, just Hincapié, that the Arsenal guy, I think, did a similar thing, didn't he? A couple of 3 nights ago, I can't remember.
I think so.
So yeah, he's a bit unlucky. Yeah, he didn't intend to head it into the net. He tried to get there first. He got there first, and unfortunately, hit the side of his head and looped over. I'm not even sure I'd lay any blame at Ted Can either, because he'd have had to have been probably 8 foot tall to even get anywhere near it, because he went straight in the back corner. But it was just typical of how we've been, is that out of the blue, when there's no threat, we concede a goal. And that's the bit that floored me, is, oh, crikey, how did that happen? I mean, I was just thinking when Tom was talking just now about when have we demonstrated that we are capable of doing mid-table? Probably 3 or 4 times this season.
Probably.
So,
yeah.
And when I watch them play football, and I'm sure everybody's got a similar view, is it's very difficult to watch, because, they get the ball, they pass it, it doesn't go to a Rotherham player. And I've just started to doubt the quality. And I've been with Mick on this most of the season, that we've got some excellent footballers. Well, I'm beginning to doubt myself now, because some of them are not demonstrating that they are, potentially excellent footballers. And it just doesn't work. I mean, as I say, one quality cross into our box caused havoc, and we conceded the goal. And that was enough to beat us. And we didn't really look like scoring after that, even though we huffed and puffed. Yeah. So, I don't know, it's just getting me down a tad. I'm trying to think of a positive, and I can't think of one, frankly.
No, I'm with you.
Can I interject? Because I agree with you. This squad has shown no aptitude or ability that they can even finish mid-table. But if you think about, disregard the keeper, because for a lot of cases you just need a keeper. But you look at Benson, Hall, Nombe, Gray, Gore. That's 5 of your 10. That's half of your team that, in my honest opinion, could do a job in Championship or top of League One if they all stay fit, all stay on the best form that we've seen. And that's half your team. And then you've got Baptiste in there. Lenny in there. Players that don't do too bad. Rafferty, James, that that do a decent job. So for me, that's what I'm going off. I'm going off what I've seen of them, and that's what's really frustrating, because I agree with you. There's at no point in the season have I seen any kind of play that makes me think, Jesus, but why are we where we are? And again, that's again something for
But
the man to consider.
You can't keep them fit.
Yeah.
Exactly. How many of our players have not been injured this season?
Yeah. No, there's not one.
Keepers.
Dawson,
Keepers,
Ted Can got a concussion for about a month.
He did actually, yeah, that's true.
So every one of them's been out.
One.
And quite a few of them have been out for not just a week or two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, Denzel suddenly gets injured. And he's out for a couple of months. And that's one of the reasons they can't demonstrate it, is because they're not on the pitch. So that's another thing that's hanging on in the background, is why are we getting so many injuries? We've been asking this question for 6 months, but there isn't an answer.
No, it isn't. We're not going to get one, unfortunately.
I don't think they know the answer. That's what worries me.
I agree. I completely agree. Steve says Mansfield know exactly how to get the ball to the field with like 11 individuals. He thinks all down to coaching. JP Seekings says a good coach can turn a team around. R9 said early areas of inspiration, intensity in our play. That makes you feel like we can get out of this. So there isn't any. Kenneth Bob says when you set up to how you set up it doesn't win games. It's the effort and intensity and creativity that wins you football games. Mick, I'll come to you on that one. That the irony is, I think the effort and intensity was there yesterday. I thought it was quite obvious that the players were trying. I'm not questioning too much in terms of the effort yesterday, because I thought they tried quite a lot. But I do think it's the way that they are set up, and injuries obviously. But I think the way we seem to be set up seems to be stifling us. When he came in last year, he just took the shackles off a little bit, go and play your football, and it worked for 8 games, whatever it was, for 4 wins out of 8 or whatever it was. He just seems stifled at the minute.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's going forward. It's when you're in attack. When you're attacking, you need to play with pace. You need to play with intensity. You know, you need to move the ball quickly. You need to pull players out of position. And we're not. We're slow. We're lumbering, ponderous, going forward, like Steve said. And that is coaching. It is coaching. There is no other reason for it, you know. And some of it is on the players. You know, Nombe has been off it for the last couple of games, definitely. His decision making has been crap. There's been a couple of times when we've been in positions where we're breaking with some intensity, with some pace, and then the wrong decisions made. I'm not going to call Harry Gray out because he's a 17-year-old kid. His decision making needs some work. It's going to do at his age, clearly. You know, and he is running up blind alleys at times. But as a team, we put the effort in yesterday. There's no doubt about it. And like I say, we didn't deserve to lose that game. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's going to convince me that we did deserve to lose. But neither did they. Didn't deserve to win either, you know. And we didn't deserve to win the game. Sorry, because we just created nothing at all, and it's just that. I don't know. We're putting it down to desire. We're putting it down to aggression or whatever. We're just not creating. We've no ideas. We've no ideas when we're getting forward.
No.
And it's so soul destroying to watch at times.
Yes, very much so. Very, very much so. We had a chance towards the end. Anybody but Reece James, if that falls to anybody with half a right foot, he at least works the keeper better than that. He's just fell to the wrong guy, which is obviously not Reece James' fault, but it was the only real bit of kind of half quality we created in the entire game. Even that felt a bit clunky in terms of how it came about. Liam Kelly slashes over in the last seconds as well, which I'm sure every Rotherham fan was the same as me, and screaming the house down or screaming the stadium at Huddersfield in frustration. He was good yesterday. I don't want to go. We're all very, very negative. I thought Liam Kelly was excellent yesterday. By the way, I don't think we'll spend much time on it because of everything else. But that was comfortably Liam Kelly's best game for the football club. Now, that may tell you a lot about how good we were yesterday. That he was our best player. But that was a Liam Kelly we've all been crying out for the last 18 months. So if we'd had that Liam Kelly for the last 18 months, Steve Evans might still be in a job, to be honest with you, because he was really, really good. He was really good at keeping the game moving. So good. But anyway,
every cloud and all
that. He was given more time than he's used to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's a really good player when he's given time to get on the ball, but. Most teams in this division just jump on him, but Huddersfield didn't. They allowed him time, and good on him. He used the ball quite well.
Rob Dixon says the game would play at a snail's pace. That's why.
Yeah,
might be right. Might be absolutely right.
Yeah, it's another way of saying.
Well, let's move on to next where we are. Because there's not much else to talk about. The game was that bad. I don't really. Unless somebody else has got anything else from the game you want to talk about, we'll kind of go from that. If you've got anything else.
Martha at centre mid. That's all. I'm still getting nightmares about it.
Yeah, the fact he stayed on for the entire game is absolutely mad. Just baffling. Martha was anonymous for 70 minutes, 75 minutes. He might as well not been up pitch. It was just wild. Rob Dixon says subs. Let's get me and Tom had a whinge about this yesterday. Steve, I'll come to you on this one. The substitutions. First of all, were they far too late? Bearing on what I said about the Huddersfield fans earlier, Duncan want more. Joe Powell's injured, so we'll let him off on that one maybe a little bit. But the substitutions did seem a bit weird and square peggy round hole. Sean McWilliams back at right wing back and all that. I don't like it.
Why are you asking me about tactics? Because I saw them come on. I didn't necessarily look at the watch because I was struggling to stay awake by that time. But yeah, I mean, looking at it, I don't know if it was you that put it on or somebody put it on Twitter today or whatever it's called now, X. And yeah, there was nothing happening until the 72nd minute.
Something like that, yeah.
And yeah, on the face of it, it was a little bit late. But I mean, I agree about Biancheri. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to have to give him a chance. He can't keep giving him 5 minutes. Bringing him on with 5 minutes to go was. Well, I did notice that and thought this is a bit daft. Poor lad. I mean, he did one thing, which was head the ball back across, didn't he? And it went straight to the keeper's hand. Now, he's not warmed up, has he? Because he's not been given the chance. Now, Powell, I'm glad to see back. And I hope he can pick up where he left off when he did get injured because he was starting to play really well. And frankly, I can't remember who else came on because they didn't strike me as having any effect on the game at all.
Yeah,
no, that's true.
You wanted somebody to come off the bench and make a difference, but none of them made a difference. And I get it that Harry had to come off. I mean, what Tom said. Why did they play him? If he has got a bit of an injury going on, why? He's 17. You've got to look after him because he showed class yesterday at times. All right, he didn't finish it. It's the last bit that needs to be added to his game, which will come. But he's a class lad. Yeah, but look after him. Don't play him when he's injured,
or even impact. This talk about Biancheri and as I say, he must be god awful in training because I don't know why Hampshire doesn't give him a chance. But every time I've seen him play for those 5-10 minutes, he runs himself into the ground more than you can say about any other player that's on the pitch. Yes, it doesn't come off all the time. Yes, it might be sluggish. Yes, it might be a kid playing in men's football. But what every time I've seen him play, which has been, he's played in 5 games. I think I've seen 3 of them. He is run himself into the ground, chasing every loose ball, closing people down, dropping back into midfield to run out play. To try and get the ball to make himself available. He challenges in the air. He is someone that that enthusiasm sticks through the entire team. And if you're getting that from your forward player, as we mentioned, Nombe has been off it for the last few games. Yes, his desire and work rate have been there, sure, but he has not been himself. He's not been he's too greedy. He's too this, that, and the other. If for me personally, that game against Huddersfield was the perfect time to play Sousa, Biancheri, Kova, players that have a something to give, something to say,
Yeah.
an opportunity given. And obviously we went into that game trying not to lose. Why not give these lads a chance? Why not give these lads, a kick up the arse to say, like, look, he wants to play the same team every week. If you go into that game thinking, well, I'm going to play next week if I don't get injured, so I'm not going to run hard, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. As long as I don't get injured, I'm starting next week. What kind of message does that sound? It's for me, it's why sign these players. It just revolves back to why signing these players if they're not going to play them. I'd give all three of them a go. I'd rest our three best players for next week, and I'd bring them on as impact subs in the 60th minute to try and get something out of the game and up it. We never talk about upping it, and I think you can do that with, bringing your best players on off the bench. Maybe it's a risk, sure, but what have we got to lose now?
Yeah. Mick, you're the refereeing expert. Penalty in the last minute?
You could argue. Yeah, well, nobody knows what handball is anymore, do they?
No, that's true.
So I don't know. It's his hand. It will probably go in goal. It will probably goal bound as well, arguably.
Would have been on target, I think. Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, probably. But what's the point? What is the point?
I think Mick's destroyed.
Well, honestly, I don't know. I get so frustrated, particularly. I mean, I watched about 3 minutes of the Leeds Norwich game. Leeds' second goal, Darren England, obviously. I don't know whether you've seen the game today. Leeds' second goal came from a free kick that was given in the centre circle it was just literally again. The defender feels somebody touching his back, throws himself on the floor, gets a free kick. It's not a free kick. Is it a penalty? It's his hand. It's in the penalty area. Who knows? I don't understand football any longer. I genuinely don't understand it. So don't be asking me about refereeing decisions, because it's just a complete mystery to me. It genuinely, the more I see of football, the more I think I don't understand what any rules are, frankly. So,
particularly the handball one.
Yeah.
So technically, that's 3 handballs in just over 90 minutes that we've not been given.
Yeah.
And I, to be quite honest, until you just mentioned it there, I'd forgotten about it. It's just not stayed in my head.
Yeah. Man, we can't be open for a penalty every game to score. No, I agree. No. I completely agree.
100%. But you expect. I'm going to say you expect consistency. I don't know why that phrase even came into my head. I am so sorry.
I thought Ref had a good game. I thought Ref actually had a decent game yesterday. I think that's it's probably a very, very easy game to referee yesterday. Yeah. There were no strong tackles. There was nothing kind of happening. So maybe but I thought it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's just frustrating. It's just another frustrating part of the game, isn't it? We've got the way our team are playing at the moment, the way that they set up, and all that goes with it, and then you add into that the frustration of inconsistencies of officiating as well, and it's a beautiful cocktail. Did I say beautiful?
Definitely not the right word.
No.
We're getting old, mate.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Moving on to next steps. Please do, but also make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up as well. Try and get a scouting report done for the Bolton game. Although I'm going to enjoy some days not thinking of Rotherham United this week, hopefully. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. Mike says no strong tackles. Were there any tackles?
No,
probably not. It's difficult to talk about next steps, Tom, because
there's one massive one.
But the question isn't do we think he should go, because I think we're all probably the same. No.
Yeah.
But I think we're all of the same opinion now. I think we would have probably, if we were all decision makers, I think the time would have been gone. The question is, do you think anything's going to happen now? 11 games left, last kind of break before another break of games. I don't know.
Yeah. Now was the time to do it. After Saturday was the time to do it, and it's not happened today. It might happen tomorrow, but if it doesn't happen by tomorrow, then it won't happen. And also, you got to remember that we've got to have someone in place. You've got to, if you get rid of a manager, have someone else in mind who can take over the helm. And for me, we don't have that that person. I don't think we have anyone personally who I think would come in and do a good job and want to come in and want to do this, want to do that. But for me, the next big step is to sort out these injuries. Again, 2 a game, 3 in fact. Oh no, it was 2 again, wasn't it? Against Huddersfield, Jules and McWilliams. You think about every game. You think we get another. Gray even is on that injury list, and again, it was in his post match. Sort of that excuse of what can I do without my best players? We can stop injuring them for a start, and there's certain injuries where you can kind of the Gore injury with his shoulder, the groin injuries where you kind of overstretch. But a lot of them, all of them are hamstring and calf injuries. Yearwood's just been ruled out for the season with another calf injury once he was hitting top form. For me, I don't. As we mentioned before, they must be aware of this situation. They must be aware of the issue. I mean, we spoke about it all season. I don't think this hasn't been a prominent issue in this entire season. But for me, I like how have you not hired another fitness coach? Not even just for 2-3 weeks, a month, just to see how we operate. How have you not had a consultant come in? How have you not had a physio come in? Yeah, basic stuff, which for me, it's inexcusable, and again, another reason why we are where we are. As Steve mentioned before, if we did have our entire team, which you don't, you never have your entire team. How are you meant to play to the best of your ability? For me, that's the next step. You've got to sort out this injury crisis, because in these 11 games we have, most of these players are going to be back by when we have 7, maybe 6 games left, if you don't injure them again. And then you have 6, you have a full squad for the last 6 games running, and then maybe you could do something. And I think 6 wins in this division will probably put us in the playoffs, knowing this kind of how tight it is. I'm joking, obviously, but that's the big step for me is stopping getting these players injured. And the next big step is coming up with a plan about not hoofing it up the pitch, because when we play football, when we give it from Can to Baptiste to Gore to what more, it sounds so simple. How are we not doing it? These are all players who are comfortable receiving on the half turn, comfortable in tight areas, know where their next move is, know where their next player should be. It feels indicative that we don't. We run a lot in training, and the injuries back that up, and the lack of idea on a football pitch back it up, and it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. So next 2 steps for that, me, the big one is deal with the injury issue, because it's getting ridiculous now.
You can't fix that now, though. That's not. We can't, even if there's a problem, you can't do it probably till summer anyway.
But the thing is, you say that, but every time we hear about it, it's nothing to do with the play. It's nothing to do with the management. It's nothing to do with the state of the pitches. It's nothing to do with how much running they're doing. It's got to be one of those things. It can't keep being this luck. It can't keep being this sort of.
No, it's definitely not luck. No, I think I've said this probably before. I think he ran too hard in the summer, and I think we're now paying the price for it. But again, once you've done that, you're in it. You've pushed them too hard. The damage is already done. Then you're always chasing your tail, because somebody's always getting injured, and that means you're going to push somebody else too far. They then get injured. And this guy that come back too early, and you've got to push him too hard, because the first guy get injured, and it's just a recurring cycle.
Yeah,
again, that's just speculation, but I agree. I just don't see how you fix it. The injury issue. I also think some of the comments about the soft training ground. Matt Taylor talked about that when we spoke to him about the training ground. The training ground being soft, the pitch is softer than New York Stadium, and that difference in terms of hard pitch to soft pitch, he thought at the time was causing a lot of calf injuries. I think is what he said. We're getting a lot of calf injuries still, so that doesn't appear to have been resolved. In terms of immediacy, Steve, 11 games left. We're only 3 points from safety. This is not the season. Isn't dead and buried. This season's very, very, very much alive. The question is Matt Hamshaw the guy to get us out of this mess that he's kind of got us into, or does it need a fresh pair of eyes?
God. Yeah, I mean, we haven't been out of it, and we aren't relegated yet. And is Matt Hamshaw the man? Well, he's by his record, he isn't. No, which it depresses me to say, but I don't think. I mean, he would have been sacked by now. That's the bit that I find a mystery is he'd have been sacked before Christmas. Well, not before Christmas, just after Christmas, I think, because he's been on that run. Any other manager would have gone, but he's still here, and it's early March. And I've said this before, what I find really difficult, as do a lot of other fans, is there's an absolute silence from the club. Nobody at the club. I mean, Phil came in a few weeks ago, introduced himself, what I proposed to do. He came on here and we had you guys had a nice chat with him. But what is the plan? Why, for God's sake, come out and tell us that Amsha's sacked tomorrow, but if he's not, tell us that he's going to be here for the rest of the season and what the plan is. Is there a plan? Because at the moment, as I said earlier, I just want something to change that makes the football better and makes my experience better and doesn't depress me all the time. I actually don't know, because the only people who can make these decisions are the people that aren't talking to us. And I finally got around to listening to that Rob Scott thing, where he was interviewed about scouting. And there was a little bit in there about communication, and he was very guarded at what he said. And he basically admitted that we're rubbish at communicating to the fans. And by God, that was recorded in December when we were just on the end of that long unbeaten run. And that's what happens. You create a gap, what do you call it, a thingy, that is filled by other people.
A void.
A vacuum. That's what I wanted. Void, vacuum, yeah. So it's filled by other people.
Yeah.
They need to tell us what's going on.
It's called taking charge of their narrative, and this football club is terrible at it.
They're
This football club is awful at it.
Yeah. And a lot of it is Tony, because Tony's that kind of guy. Yeah. I mean, we used to meet him quite a lot when he first took over. We didn't very often find out anything, really. He'd have a nice chat and we'd have a cup of tea, and then, we'd go away and think, well, what did we get out of that? Not a great deal. It's nice to keep in contact as fans, but, oh, God, I don't know. We've got to be clear on what the plan is for who's taking the team for the next 11 games, and then what's going to happen next season. Because if this is not sorted out properly, it's not going to be very good next season as well in a lower division. No,
it's not. We're ready for. I don't know what we're ready for. We're ready for something to happen, I think.
Yeah.
Nick. What's your take on it? Because I still think we're all of similar agreements that it is time for a change, but it's not happened. It's not happening. Evans was sacked with about 8 games left last season. Well, 8 games left because Hampshire took 8 games, so it was a little bit later than now. The difference was we weren't in the middle of a relegation fight. We felt like we were maybe on the cusp of it, being 6 points from relegation, whatever it was, maybe a bit less from relegation, but we were never actually in a fight last year. So that's why we could be more patient, or why the high-ups were more patient. It feels like, to me, we'll talk about this maybe on Thursday, but this next week, from Bolton onwards, is probably the week. If you get that wrong, if you get that week wrong, bear in mind a lot of teams play on Tuesday this week as well as the Tuesday after, your season could be dead and buried. But if you get it right, you'll be well in the fight and you can move forward. This is a massive period of the season coming up that is make or break. Well, where do you see it? If any changes are going to come, are they going to come now, or do you think it's not going to happen?
I think probably it's not going to happen. I think if it were going to happen, it would have happened by now. So I think that's probably my stance at the moment. But I've no evidence for that. Like, none of us have any evidence for it's purely speculation. It's key part of the season. With 3 points off safety as we stand at the moment. So, like you said earlier on, the season's not dead and buried by any stretch. Whether we're just sitting tight as a football club and hoping, I don't know. None of us know, and we can only. I don't know if there's any point speculating about it. You know, we sit tight, we watch the games, we hope we win, we hope we survive. I think that's all that we've got. You know, we can sit and moan about it until cows come home. It will make absolutely zero difference. You know, which is probably fair and right, but there has to be more communication from this football club. There has to be, because I hate to use the phrase, but I'm going to use it anyway. We're the ones that pay their wages, ultimately, and without us, the football club is nothing. So we deserve to be treated with some sort of respect. And much as Tony Stewart has done what he's done for the football club and will be forever grateful, respect for the supporters is not something that has ever really been forthcoming, in my view, from Mr. Stewart and the football club. You know, the lack of communication, the way supporters are treated on match days. I'm not going to bang on about it, but you know what I'm talking about. We're an inconvenience until it comes round to season ticket time. It's how it feels. I'm not saying that's the case. That's how it feels. And so I think we're just sitting tight and hoping and waiting. I think Matt Amshaw's here till the end of the season now, quite frankly. I still believe, I still want to believe that we'll get out of this. I still want to believe that, and I will do, and I'll continue to believe it until it's no longer possible. We've been here before. We've been here before many times, with worse, and that is a fact. With worse managers, worse players, worse performances, in a worse position, worse owners. You know, we've been here before. We've done it. So we've got the T-shirt. We suck it up. Unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to do because we're not going to get anything from the football club. So,
yeah, we have 3 games before a probable international break against Luton. You've got Bolton at home, Peterborough on the Tuesday, Lincoln away on the Saturday. We then should have Luton. I know. We then should have Luton at home, but that's the international weekend, which I assume will be postponed. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Matt wants to know, Mick, would you sack him now if you were boss man? If you were big Tony Stewart or you were advising Tony Stewart, would you be advising for Hammy to go?
I'd be wanting to know what his plan is. I'd be wanting Hampshire. Okay. I would be wanting to know. I'd be wanting an explanation as to why the team is performing the way it's performing. That's what I'd be wanting to know, because there's more to this. There's got to be more to this. I don't believe that Hampshire is blindly just going into every Saturday hoping that it's going to turn out differently. I don't. I genuinely think, and I don't know what it is. I've no idea what it is, which is why I'd be asking the question: what is it exactly that you're doing in order to improve this? Because it's not improving. It's not improving at all. I think they're trying. I think they're putting the effort in, they're putting the work in, but it's not happening. And I want to know what it is that they're actually doing. I think go on, Steve.
Carry on.
I was just going to say, I think given time over the years, he will become a decent manager. Whether we've got that time, I don't think we have. So, you know.
What has he actually given you as evidence for this, Mick? Like, I'm being
absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
which is why which is why I want to ask the question. It's not blind faith, though, is it?
Well, it is, isn't it? If you've got nothing to base it on, it's blind faith, which is fine. As a football fan, that's part of what we do as football fans. We have blind faith in our football club to an extent. But
I don't have blind faith in Matt Amshaw to turn it around. I don't have faith in him to turn it around as it stands at the moment if he's going to carry on doing what he's doing. I also don't have faith in Tony Stewart to communicate with the supporters. I don't have faith in the football club to treat the supporters the way that they should be doing to get the most out of them. You know, I don't have faith in any of it. I want it to happen. I desperately want it all to happen, but I whether it's going to do or not, I don't know. I have no idea.
I am sure that Tony talks to his managers after every game, and I'm sure he's asking these questions. But why is he still in the job? Because his record since Christmas has been appalling. Most managers would have been sacked. So that's why I want some communication from the club to tell us what the bloody plan is.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a manager who's presided over a really show. What we've won 3 in 18 or something.
Something like that.
I don't know what the stats are. It's shocking. It's awful, and we're in danger of getting relegated. So, what are you going to say to your fans? Because in a few weeks, when you come out, as I don't know who mentioned, wanting a season ticket purchase, people are going to turn their backs. People are already turning their backs. I mean, I pay for a season ticket, but I don't go very often because I live in Derby. It never was a problem living in Derby when we were good, and I felt as though it was value for money. At the moment, I'd rather go and see my grandson, which is probably what I'll end up doing next Saturday. But I don't know until every Saturday morning it's whether I can be asked or not, because they're not asked at talking to us. Now, Phil, I kind of expected something from Phil Smith, really, as a statement from the club. If Tony won't talk to us, Rob Scott won't talk to us because he was the other mouthpiece, then let's have a couple of minutes statement from Phil. What's the plan? Because we're just drifting.
Yeah, we are drifting. Look, we might hear something this week. We don't know.
Who knows? Probably not.
Probably not. No. It's not fun at the minute. It's just not fun. I don't know what else to say to it, to be honest with you. Is there anything else football related you want to talk about first before we finish on our happy news, our good news segment?
All I would say is there's a couple of comments about what I said there about Amshaw being inept and he'll never make a good manager and everything else. That's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. Well, it is. You know, that all that does is assume that the man will stay exactly where he is. He won't learn anything. He won't experience anything. He will just continue in exactly the same place as he is now. That's absolute nonsense, isn't it? You know, he will learn. He will learn from his experiences, as we all do. He will develop, as we all do. Whether he develops or not sufficiently well enough to become a good manager is the thing that's up for debate. He's not inept. He clearly isn't. However, he's not cutting it as a manager at the moment, and his performance show that. But he will improve because that's how life works, you know. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
man, Burn. Good managers don't always make leaders, and that's not Hampshire's issue. I'm not convinced. I think that's possibly the case. Yeah. Right, let's finish on good news. We might have to get an intro for this at some point. We're going to go through anybody's good news they've had. Although, by the way, I'm going to finish this, which isn't good news. Mike Lewis says, those who said on the podcast they are not bothered at Cup won't have a look at Port Vale. Quarter-final FA Cup. Bottom at league, but then quarter-final FA Cup, having just beaten Sunderland. Could not be more jealous of Port Vale right now. I'd be all over it like a rash, that FA Cup run. Me and Mike were in the same camp on that one.
Me and all. There's still a Port Vale fan at work I saw on Friday, and he says, we've no chance this weekend.
And then they go and do
how wrong you were.
Beautiful competition that we never seem to take seriously. And that was our own fault at Swindon, by the way. But anyway, let's move on. Good news segment. Right. Steve Mix in the comments first of all said they had a luxurious cottage pie he made from following YouTube videos from Fallow Restaurant. I don't know Fallow Restaurant. Is that a thing? Is that a famous thing?
I don't know. I've never heard of them.
No. It was good.
Restaurant in London, yeah.
There we go. Tom's our London boy. He knows these things. So we're celebrating positive things that have happened this weekend to people or achievements that they've had. Tracy Dixon started off with an achievement she's had. It was the Wickersley 10K today, and Tracy Dixon got her personal best, celebrating with a glass of wine. Richard Connor has gone out for a curry tonight. with his son for his son's 30th birthday, which makes him even older than Mick. There you go, Mick. Sean Corker says his grandson's team won 2-1 on a horrendous pitch. Bramley Sunnyside under 16s. It says blue or black team. He kind of forgets which one it is. We have another Ben in Mexico. Ben Johnson on Facebook says he didn't have to watch the game because he's in Mexico. I think Ben should start a club in Mexico. Ben Rotherham fans called Ben in Mexico. Very niche, but I think that's something. We need a fan club. Joe on Twitter said the All About Football is playing a charity game in May at New York Stadium to raise money for the Rotherham United Community Trust's 50k power play. They've already raised £1,300 from players and official fees. That's obviously something positive. Oliver came in just behind Ross Burberry in the 10k. Didn't manage to pull his hamstring, Oliver, which is good news. John H says he did an old school, or I think it's a toad in the hole. It's either a toad in the hole or a giant Yorkshire pudding. Either way, it looks great. He's done it with beef dripping. Says, who cares?
Cool.
Rotherham United when you've got this in your life. Looked a belter, to be honest. And Tom B. Thorpe Hesley Village bagged a 5-2 win against the Butchers, and their man of the match won a lovely slow cooker as his man of the match award, which was very good. I enjoyed that. Alex James says, got Woody ready to play, did a 10k in 38 minutes. And Alex did that as well. Rob Dixon says the Cheltenham Festival is on next week, which is good for some people. If you're into horse racing, it's a very, very good week. Matt Miller says, good news, I tried to do some baking today. Gingerbread, it collapsed in the middle. A bit of a metaphor for all the guys, I suppose. I went to the cinema last night, and that was quite good. If you're into children's film, Hoppers is quite good. That's all I've got for you.
You went with your kids, I'm guessing.
No, mate, I went on my own. Just me as one 35-year-old bloke sat in cinema on his own watching
Why not?
Pixar's latest. Yeah.
Just double check.
Anything else, fellas? You want to find anything to make a smile? Or
Sausage casserole this evening.
Oh,
and I've left the trifle till after I've finished this. So there you go. We don't think about Rotherham United on a Sunday. Well, apart from in the morning, bit in the afternoon, and then this in the evening. And I've got me 9-day fortnight Monday off tomorrow. There you go.
There you go.
However, I've got to go to the dentist, which puts a bit of a downer on it.
Dentist on a Monday morning?
No, in the afternoon.
But
at least I can sit in my pants for a good 6 hours.
Murray, the Arc Cinema is pretty good. Yeah, if you do a little Rotherham and want to go cinema, I do recommend Arc Cinema. I've been a few times. It's pretty good, actually. Parking system's a bit complicated now, but anyway, it beat me. So let's move on to that one. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. We will be back on Thursday, which will be the preview of the Bolton game, going to a really, really big week. Fixtures from Saturday onwards. Unless there's any breaking news, which we all think is unlikely, we'll be back Thursday, as is the plan. Thank you very, very much, Mick. Terrible start to your 22nd year on Saturday, but I'm sure it can only get better from there, can't it?
We'll see. We'll see. I'll be 22 in a year's time. I'll be fine.
What, the 40th anniversary of your 22nd?
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Steve, as well. Thank you very much. Enjoyed this. And Tom, twice in 2 days. Well, this is going to become the thing, this.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. As always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots. Ravel. Vicious, but brilliant. The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United. What's got round the back? And Richie Wood has done it